Good morning and the welcome students, and you are again warm welcomed in our school YouTube channel, that is VPM GNS Daltonganj. Students, now in this video we are going to cover the explanation of the poem, and the poem name is The Rain on the Roof by Kurt Skinner. And students, this poem has been decorated, composed by the Kurt Skinner very beautifully. And after completing the summary of this poem in the previous video, now it is time to do the explanation, to know the figure of speech, the hard word meanings, and in this video. So we are going to cover at first the explanation, word meaning, and the figure of speech of this poem. So let's start without wasting our precious time. So students, when a when the humid shadows hover over all the starry spheres, and the melancholy darkness gently weeps in rainy tears, what a joy to press the pillow of a cottage chamber bed and listen to the patter of the soft rain overhead. So students, at first we are going to talk about the words, hard words. And here the first one is the humid. Humid means something which is full of moisture. Next, shadows. Shadows refers to the moisture laden clouds which cast a shadow on the earth. Next, hover means move around something. Melancholy, that is sad. And the next is the patter. Patter is here, it means the sound of raindrops falling from the roof. And next is the cottage, and cottage means the bedroom. And the explanation, that we can say that the poet is saying that when the humid shadows hover, the poet is saying that when the sky is full of these clouds which are moisture laden, are full of water, and are about to bring rain, with such clouds hover around in the sky over all the starry spheres. At that time, huge clouds which are full of moisture move around in the sky, and the sad darkness of the night is wiped off by the raindrops which seem like tears falling from the sky. The poet is comparing raindrops to tears, and he says that the dark sky, which seems to be very sad, it appears as if it is crying, and the raindrops shares the tears sadly. And he adds that it is like a blaze lie on the bed in his room and listen to the sound made by raindrops falling on the roof. So students, after completing the short explanation, now it is time to talk about the figure of speech. Students, in the previous poem, that is, we had already covered the road not taken and the wind. We were talking about continuously the figure of speech and its the terms and the definitions, the examples, more and more examples we saw. But now we are talking to figure of speech, to about the figure of speech in the shortly. So at first, the alliteration in the short, we can say the repetition of the consonant sounds. So at first you find where is the example of the alliteration. So when you observe that, you will find that the here the humid hover, it means H sound, and here the H sound. Next, the stereospheres means here the S sound, and here again the S sound. Next, press the pillow. Here the P sound and here the P sound. That is P sound. And these are the examples of alliteration. Why? Because H sound, S sound and the P sounds are repeating, so it is the example of alliteration. And the next, personification. And the personification means treating a non-living things as a living thing. So here in the third line of this stanza, the word is the darkness. And students, darkness has been personified when he says that it is sad. So it is the example of personification. And again, in the another figure of his speech is that transferred epithet, means the use of an adjective with noun when it refers to another noun. And in the other words, we can say that a word, a noun is qualified by an adjective. And here the melancholy darkness, the darkness is not melancholy. Point should be noted. The darkness is not melancholy, but it refers to the sad people. So it is the example of the transferred epithet. And the next is that onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia, it means the pronunciation is different, but you will find it in the dictionary. Then it is the similar words is not found, but is the simply we can say that the sound suggests meaning or sense. That onomatopoeia, that is the sound suggests meaning or sense. In the short we can say that is it is the sound that the hinted that a snake bho bho. This sound is correlate the and tells about the dog meow meow. This sound correlates the cat. That is the example of onomatopoeia. So here the word is the patter. That is, patter is the use of sound word here in this stanza. It is the sound made by the raindrops falling on the roof. So here in this stanza, the patter is the example of onomatopoeia. So students, we had finished the first stanza of this poem. So next, in the second stanza, that is the every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart, and 1,000 dreamy fancies into busy being start, and 1,000 recollections weave their bright hues in woof as I listen to the patter on the rain upon the roof. So at first we are going to talk the hard word. That is, first one is the tinkle. Tinkle means short, light, ringing sound. Means short singing, means a light singing sound. Next one is shingles. Shingle means here the rectangular wooden tiles used on the roof. Again I am repeating, rectangular wooden tiles used on the roof. And the third one is echo. And echo means repeated sound. Here the echo means repeated sound. And the next is the woof. And the woof is that is the thread woven across the loom. Next is the patter. Patter sound of the raindrops falling on the roof. Next one is the busy being. Next one is busy being. And busy being refers to the human being. And here the poet is referring to himself. So in the explanation of this stanza, we can say that poet is expressing his feeling when the hears the raindrops falling on the roof top of his house. He says that every tinkle on the shingles has an echo in the heart. Whenever he hears rain falling on the rooftop, the sound repeats in his heart. Again, point should be noted, the sound repeats in his heart, and in his dreams he has many different fanciful imagination, and he adds that this sound of the rain falling on the roof top creates many new different dreams in his mind. He recollects many memories of the past and which come back into his mind as dreams. So he says that he listens to the patter of the rain upon the roof. He has many new dreams in his mind, and the memories of the past come back the form of dreams. So after completing the explanation, now it is time to talk about the personification, and the same personification are used here as well as the same, that is the first stanza, that is the alliteration, personifications, onomatopoeia and the transferred epithet. So in this we are not going to know the definition of the figure of speech, but only we will discuss the example, and we will try to find the examples of this figure of speech. Then the first one, the alliteration, and here the it means thread. First one we will try to find the alliteration. Where is the alliteration? First one is the busy being, and the busy being is that here the B sound, and the B sound is repeated, and the next is that the roof sound, and here the roof sound means the rain roof, here the rain and here the roof, and here the R sound is used, and next here the there and threads, their threads, here the T sound. So the alliteration, the busy being and the rain roof, it means B sound, R sound is repeated, so it is the example of the alliterations. Next is the personifications, and personifications is here the first one, the recollection, and at first we are going to talk about the recollection words, and it is the example of a student personification, and recollection is here personified when he says that they weave dreams, so it is the example of personification. And next is the onomatopoeia, that is the sound suggests the meaning and sense. So here that is the first one, the tinkle, and second one is the patter. These sounds made by the raindrops, so it is the example of onomatopoeia. Next one is the dreamy fancies, that is dreamy fancies means example of the transferred epithet. So here the dreamy fancies, that it doesn't mean that the fancies are dreamy, but refers to the people who have dreams, and it is notable. So students, in this way we had finished the figure of speech of this stanza 2. So students, now in the next video we are going to cover the stanza 3rd, and students, now I am again going to provide you the notes of the figure of speech and the hard words in the on the WhatsApp group. So today's that's all, and the next day again we are going to start the remaining parts of the stanza, that is the third stanza, and as well as we are going to talk about the important question answer, and it will be the MCQ as well as for your examination point of view. So at last I want to say you that again you read one or more times for the better understanding, and again you have the any doubt, then ask me with the help of my the personal WhatsApp number. Then you will call me for the any decision, any doubt, for the any doubts to clear the to call me, and after that we will try to solve the any problems of related to our topic. And those students do the homework, that is very good, and when I will give you the any homework, then it's your duty to keep in your notebook, because then it will be the very important for the examination point of view. So students, it's your duty to note down and to acquire the knowledge, and in this way I want to say thank you. Have a nice day.